Hello, this is Sylvester McCoy, Doctor Who number 7, on MarkWHO42. What on earth is that? I have no idea, really. All these numbers.
Welcome to MarkWHO42 here on Subspace Radio, Geekcast Radio Network, Florida Geek Scene, and all around the interweb thingy. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and we've got a show for you today. I also want to let you know that a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about a special event that MarkWHO42 is sponsoring. But let's get to our Oscar show. It's the Oscar previews. We've got a 2-hour show on Subspace Radio. They've given us an extra hour. Thank you very much for us. Let me go to our Oscar expert.
Hi, this is Juan Sanmiguel. I'll try to know. I know a lot of things. Actually, there's one thing I couldn't figure out, which we'll talk about and discuss. How do the Oscars work? But before we do that, let's introduce our panel. Coming from Reno, of our traditional MarkWHO42 panelists.
Hi, it's Vicky.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, Vicky. And I noticed you didn't go, hi. So because it wasn't me introducing you. So I like that. I like that. Thank you.
And
I'm just going to mix it up from time to time, honey.
And coming from Osceola County, Florida, film expert.
Yeah, it is Kim. I'm very excited to be on here today. Very, very pumped.
Thank you so much, Kim, for showing up.
So I'll do a quick thing about how the Oscars work. I forgot if I did it last year, but actually we could do it again. I was just explaining it to my friends yesterday while we were seeing the Oscar shorts later about that. So the Oscars work. Okay, there's a thing called the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and you got to get invited to be a member, and then you got to keep up your membership dues. Most of the members are actors. So when it comes time to the Oscars, you get to vote on whatever you work on. All the screenwriters get to vote on the screenwriting awards to make nominations, but everybody gets to vote for Best Picture. Now, some awards like Best International Film are a little bit complicated because countries send in films to be considered, and it looks like that's the only semi-juryized, at least as I understand it. If anybody on the panel knows better, correct me if I'm wrong. There is one hole I don't know. I can't figure out how the shorts works. I just saw both live action and animated shorts, and I couldn't answer honestly how those are nominated. But I couldn't look it up in Wiki. Do you have an idea, Kim?
Yeah, no, that's always historically, for me at least, been my blind spot, has been the shorts. So I'd be very curious to see how that works. But then to your point about the international movies, I mean, I feel like one thing people a lot of times don't know is that the director themselves, the producers, they don't get the award. It goes to the country.
Oh, really? I thought
Yes.
they would just give it back to them. I know
Nope,
that the country
it goes to the country.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Okay.
Well, anyway, now the thing I wanted to find out, there was a story. Now, Mark Baumgarten is one of Kevin Smith's co-hosts on the Fat Man Beyond podcast, and he told this story after Anora won last year for Best Picture, and he claims that Sean, Tim, what's the director's name? I'm sorry, I mean that was his first name, Sean Baker.
Sean Baker, correct.
Yeah, Sean Baker supposedly. And I trust Mark. He used to be a reporter for the Hollywood Reporter, and he said that supposedly Sean sent to a bunch of members or all of the members of the Academy a disc version of Anora, and they all saw it, and that might have helped him with the vote because he won Best Picture, Best Picture and Best Actress. I forget what other awards it won last year, and I thought that's kind of interesting because, Mark kind of implied that unfortunately the Academy, although they're trying to broaden their membership, is skewing kind of older. I mean, somebody pointed out that maybe the older portion, their heyday might have been the 70s era of cinema, which was exciting for very good reasons, but but it unfortunately kind of skews their viewing, what the voting populace is.
Mm.
And of course, there's that whole issue about, I mean, they issued that new rule where you have to watch all the movies, but I mean, easier said than done. We know Oscar
And
voters
how do you
anonymously.
prove it?
Exactly. Oscar voters anonymously have been very clear that sometimes they don't even vote based on what is the content of the movie, but maybe kind of around the politics surrounding
Mm.
Hollywood, if you will. So, I mean, a lot of these movies aren't getting seen at all, which is a shame when it comes to the actual voting process.
Well, the
Yeah.
Isn't
thing
there isn't there a theater in I'm not sure it's Beverly Hills or Hollywood area that's owned by the Academy of Science, the Academy of
they have a museum. I don't know if there's
they
probably a
because they
theater.
used to have a theater because I saw Zelig there because I got invited
Cool.
to a special showing. This was back in the 80s. And I think it was at the theater that the Academy owned, where you could watch the films like that weren't available to watch. And this was
Uh,
before video. Well, there was some home video, but
Mhm.
there was, so they used to. I don't know if they still have it.
But I will say one thing. The reason that he sent this is that there are the main way that people now get there is not the way to see the films is not through screeners like they used to. Now it's all a streaming service, which I guess
Yeah.
they can go on. And I guess Sean thought that maybe, some of the older types still have their DVD players or are not comfortable with streaming services, even a private one like the Academy is using.
Hmm.
So any more comments on the process or
Please watch your movies when you vote, please. Thank you.
Please.
no,
That's all
no.
I ask.
Well, I try to on the Hugos, but I usually watch all of those. But we can talk about that during our Hugo. But let's get straight to it. Our strategy for this show is we're gonna work up from all the films which have more than two nominations and work our way up. And this is a record year because the top film had a record number of nominations. I believe either beating All About Eve or Titanic. I forget which one had the more nominations. But let's get to it. Two nominations. The first one is Surat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It might be a Moroccan word. It was nominated for International and Sound. It is not playing. It is not streaming anywhere. I saw it through extraordinary means. Although next week it is playing. It is playing soon at the Enzion. I just saw the trailer for it, which is very good. I'm gonna comment on a lot of trailers of some of these films that I saw because I'm very critical of trailers. This trailer does not reveal anything that happened in the third act, or if it did, you don't get the context, so you don't blow what the
Nice.
any twist. Oh, and I should say something. We might have to spoil some of these films. See these films before seeing it. I don't know.
Would you like me to hit the spoiler alert?
Yes, hit the spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
The plot of Surat is that a Spanish man, is looking for his daughter at a rave concert in the middle of the Moroccan desert with his
Oof.
son and his dog, and they're not doing good, and they hear that there's going to be another rave concert, but then the rave concert that they're at gets raided by the army, who kicks them out of the area. And so they hang out. This man and his son and his dog hang out with these ravers who are going to the next event, hoping to find their daughter. And things happen. Unfortunately, there's a dark turn in the film, and that's all I'll say about it. The trailer doesn't give it away. The film is scary because they drive on a mountainous road and you see some drops. I mean, I like one of the blurbs
Oh.
that you saw in the trailer says one of the most dangerous films you ever saw, or something outrageous like that. And you do get that. I mean, there's some harrowing stuff, and it's beautiful to look at. Uh, if you get a chance to see it, if there's a playing at a local theater near you, I don't know if the Enzion's got this exclusive or it's going back into mainstream theaters. The Enzion, for those of you who don't know, is Orlando's local independent theater and dinner theater too. So they're getting it next. Uh, so they're getting it soon. Beautiful picture. Uh, Moroccan desert, beautiful vistas. Interesting thing, all the characters who are playing kind of these older raver types, their characters all have the first name of the actor, so I don't know how this director got them, except for one.
Do you
And
think
but
they changed it because of that?
I don't know. I mean, they're playing the ravers, and the thing is, they're in a caravan trying to get to this next rave. And I like how they use the credits because the credits, it's like in the middle of the rave. I mean, they showed them putting together all these giant speakers, and then they turn them on, and they're all, and then you flash the names of while the characters are in the rave, or if when the main character and his son are walking around, during the rave. I always like a good innovative use of opening credits. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
anybody has anything to say about Surat? Questions? Well, catch it if you haven't seen it. Next is it was just an accident. Oh, international. I forget what. Oh, I forgot to put else what it was nominated for. But I can discuss the plot real bad. It's a little. This is a little bit of a darker film. Um, it's essentially, this film was actually possibly made illegally. Oh, it got
Screenplay.
yeah, it got
Screenplay?
screenplay. Thank you.
How is it illegally made?
Well, the thing is, I don't. The thing is, it's set in Iran. It's about essentially the plot is a car breaks down in front of luckily in front of a garage or a place where they have tools. But the thing is, the person whose car had a problem, had an artificial leg, and the thing is, one of the people working at this place where the car broke down thinks he recognizes the sound of this artificial leg, and it's because it's a person who tortured him and several other people during their reign. And so at some point early in the film, in the first act, he kidnaps this guy, but he's not sure if this is the guy.
Yeah.
So he has to and it's a little bit of a thriller where he gets a bunch of people to try to identify this guy because he doesn't want to kill the wrong guy. I mean, he says this is a very intense film. I mean, one of the people he has to pull in is a groom and his bride, because the thing is one of the people who was a witness to this was a photographer, and so was the bride. And so you see a woman going around town in this van with a guy tied into a crate, and she's wearing a wedding dress. And they're trying to look inconspicuous while they're trying to find people in order to corroborate whether this guy is the guy or not. And that
Is
the plot
this
of the
a
movie.
graphically violent film?
I no, I don't think so. I don't remember any graphic violence. It's
Well,
very
you know
intense
what? I
because
want to see it now. This sounds like a great movie. This
It
sounds
really does.
amazing. This sounds like an amazing movie.
Nobody gets hurt. I mean, obviously, there's a guy with I don't unless they did a special effect, they found it. But I believe the director is in exile, and this is like France's submission, or one of France's submission because he's living in France. I think he had to do some really tricky things. I mean, there was a film. I forget if it was last year or 2 years ago. It had "Sacred Fig" in the title, and it was also similar, critical of the Iranian government. So, so it's up for, as Kim mentions, up for Screenplay International. Any questions or any other comments on this film?
I've wanted to watch this one for a while, and it's been hard to catch. So I'm very excited. This makes me even more excited to see it. But I also just, as you were talking about the plot, reminds me a lot of Prisoners. I don't know if anyone here has seen Prisoners, but it kind of reminds me of that. Is this the person I'm looking for? Is it not the person I'm looking for? So it sounds like if someone likes that movie, they'd really like this movie.
Okay.
I'm thinking Hitchcock here. I definitely want to see it. Sounds very, very good.
Now, I forgot to mention, I do have a list of where you can find some of these films. Serrata is not streaming anywhere, but It Was Just an Accident is on Amazon to rent or buy. And one thing I noticed if you've heard the website Just Watch, where I got all this information, most of it, if Amazon Prime has it, so does Apple, and you can rent it there. So, and it's a rent or buy, and the rent is usually about $4 or $5. So, any questions on It Was Just an Accident?
No.
Okay.
And again, it's definitely a must see for me.
Now, next movie is on Netflix. It's called Blue Moon. It's about Lawrence Hart, who used to be the partner of Richard Rodgers. And Mr. Hart is one of the great American songwriters. He wrote My Funny Valentine and Of course, I'm blanking out on songs right now, even though I just saw this movie 2 days. But he wrote a lot of stuff pre Oklahoma, and the premise of the film is his partner Rick Rogers went with Oscar Hammerstein, and they produced Oklahoma, and the movie takes place on the opening night of Oklahoma. And the thing is, Mr. Hart is a brilliant lyricist, and he also recognizes that Oklahoma is going to be a tremendous success. And I like how he calls it Oklahoma explanation point. But the thing is, he hates it because it does not challenge the audience. He's very critical of it. But he also knows it's going to be a hit. It's going to make his partners a lot of money, which he does not begrudge him. But he is also frustrated that the American theatrical musical theater is not challenging the audience. And he's wrestling with that. Essentially, it takes place in Sardi's bar. I don't know if it's a restaurant.
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
Oh, it is a restaurant?
Yeah.
And, he's talking to people, and it's essentially, and it's up for, let me bring up it's up for Best Actor and lead actor Ethan Hawke, who plays Lawrence Hart, and original screenplay. And it's just a brilliant, it takes place all at Sardi's. There's a little bit that takes place at the opening, they see the last number of Oklahoma, and then he goes to Sardi's to commiserate and to talk to people. He's also trying to hook up with a 20-year-old, even though he's 47, who's played by Margaret Qualley, who's an excellent actress, who was in The Substance and Kinds of Kindness, and also Honey Don't, which is a film which I could have defended at another podcast. But it's a beautiful movie. It all takes place, and it's about art, people's opinions of art, different takes, and sadly, shortly after Oklahoma debuted, Mr. Lawrence dies. In fact, when I was talking about this film with one of my friends who's big into the local theater in Orlando, he was kind of surprised that Lawrence lived long enough to see Oklahoma. He didn't think he'd live to see it. Any opinions? Has anybody seen this one?
It's another one I want to see.
I have
these are
seen
great
it,
movies.
And I'm of course my first career was on the stage, and there's not a musical that I don't love. And
Oklahoma is great. That's a masterpiece.
You know what? Oklahoma it was a game changer.
Yes.
When it came out, it truly changed the way it was. Hart was correct about the way that Hammerstein writes, and you could say that Hart was more intellectual, more sardonic, more sarcastic, more and he always had a little edge to everything he did. And in some ways he was way ahead of his time. Unfortunately, he had way too many personal demons, and I agree, it's a miracle he lived as long as he did, and he really did look older than his years at the end. And I thought this was very well done. It was the right amount of uncomfortableness that you need to tell this kind of story. And it was interesting. I was reading about the production, and they said they did it over a couple of weeks in Ireland, and it you feel it. It feels very immediate. It was done. It was shot. It was, you feel like you truly got a glimpse of time, as opposed to most films that don't have that immediacy to them. So it was really, really nice to kind of see all these characters, and the little Stephen Sondheim, which it is true, when he was a neighbor of Oscar Hammerstein, he did act as a little errand boy and later became his protege.
Wow.
So it was really cute. And the fact that he was snarky was absolutely perfect for a young Stephen Sondheim.
That sounds about right.
That was cool.
Absolutely. So I highly recommend this movie.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else? All right. Next film we have is somewhat controversial, I know, with at least one of our panel. Avatar: Fire and Ash, which is nominated for Best Visual Effects and Costume. It is still in the theaters right now, at least last I heard. I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
I don't think so.
I saw it. It's okay. I mean, the weird thing is that they essentially have to save the whales again.
Oh my
but
God. I hate those whales.
Really?
I
love
hate.
the way.
What do you mean the whale can do math and poetry? Shut
The
up!
only
I hate
whales,
these
the only
whales.
whales the only whales you should save are in Star Trek 4.
You
That's it.
stole
No
the
other
words
whales.
out of my mouth, Mark. Stole
I
the words
mean,
out of my mouth.
yeah. I saw the first Avatar movie. I will never watch another Avatar movie. I did not like it.
All
I'm
right.
not an Avatar fan.
Yeah, it's
I
not an
will
Oscar
recommend.
movie.
I will recommend to those of you. You should see it in 3D. I did. Uh, the visual effects are deserving. Costume is
Yes.
also deserving. A little. The costumes are deserving. Um, I'll say this about James Cameron. Whatever you say about him, James Cameron doesn't make a bad film. Does he make great films? That's questionable. But he makes a solid piece of entertainment that you say, okay, it had a beginning, middle, and an end. It had a
Okay,
plot, and I was
if you say
interested.
that, then Michael Bay has never made a bad film. I mean, really,
No,
it's
Michael
the
Bay
same
makes dumb
comparison.
It
films.
has
No,
a
no, no,
Same
no.
beginning,
comparison.
middle, and end. That's a very bottom bar, like very
No, no,
low bar.
Yeah, it's a
I was
low,
exactly-
low
I
bar.
think Cameron does not go to Bay's level.
Okay.
I mean, there is spectacle,
Ever?
but I think there's thought into it.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I was really disappointed when I saw Transformers, and I thought it was me until I talked to a dear
No,
friend.
it wasn't
at
just
Anime
you.
Convention.
It wasn't
No,
just you.
no,
It wasn't just you.
The explosions were wonderful.
Yes. Oh, Bay makes great explosions.
Anyway, we'll move.
Nobody can make something blow up the way Michael Bay can.
No.
That you have me there.
We'll move on to a popular
Okay.
movie that I think at least two of us watched. K-pop. Well, actually, three of us watched K-pop
Yeah, I
Demon
watched
Hunter.
it.
Best
Woohoo!
animated film and best song. The only animated film to get 2 nominations.
That was a good movie.
I
I surprisingly liked it.
I had not planned to see it. I was working at a convention, and it was after the convention. I was back at the Airbnb, and the person who had it with me forced me to watch it. And I was like, I don't want to see it. She forced me to watch it, and by the minute in, a couple of minutes into it, I'm like, you didn't force me. I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
Wow.
I can't wait 4 years for a sequel at this point because they're saying it's going to take that long or 3 years to make
Wow.
another one. So too long.
I
It was
really
catchy.
like
It was fun. It was heartwarming. Friendship,
Yeah.
accepting yourself, everything.
Mhm.
It was schmaltzy, but the right kind of schmaltzy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
as a,
okay.
I'm a big K-pop fan personally, so like I was really into it. I'm gonna say the first maybe 2 scenes, I was like, oh, this is maybe a little too fast paced for my taste.
hmm
But then after I felt like it got its groove. I really started enjoying it. The music, Golden is such a good song. I
It
have that stuck in my
is.
head all the time.
The first episode of Saturday Night Live this season, they had a sketch where the music of K-pop was involved in. And I'm like, oh, and eventually the singers, the people who actually sing the song, were doing it. So it was just like, I was like, I didn't know what this movie was. What is this music? Why are they making such a big deal? I got why they made a big deal.
It's like that Danny DeVito gif where it's like, I get it now.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that would be correct.
And when we move, one thing, it was made by Net. I don't know if it was originally made from Netflix money, but that is where it's at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
it's a
Netflix
Netflix movie.
must have had something to do with it because I think they got exclusive rights to it
Yeah,
at
it's
some point.
specifically a Netflix movie, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
All right. Next, we'll be moving on to films with 4 nominations.
And
we'd like-
we're going to do that, I think, in the next segment. I hope I just wanted to say I hope everyone's enjoying this. We are MarkWHO42, and this is our Oscar preview for 2026. We've done Oscar previews in the past, haven't we, Juan? Haven't we?
well, we did a show last year.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
well that counts as in the past.
That's why I'm basing it. That's
Correct.
why I based our time limit and our time request based on last year's show.
Well, I have to say, and full disclosure, I've seen no movies this year. So I'm glad that maybe this is actually getting me to want to see movies. So far, you've got me ready to see It Was Just an Accident and Blue Moon. You've got me wanting to see those. So I'm very excited about possibly the next movies because I know we're going to talk about movies with 4 nominations, with 5 nominations, with more. And I'm just very excited about this. My name is Mark Baumgarten. We've got Juan Sanmiguel, the Oscar expert. We've got Victoria Jakubowski, and we've got Kim Farah here. We will be back right after this here on Subspace Radio and everywhere else.
Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll be back with more MarkWHO42 after this.
Hello, geeks and geekettes. I'm Steve Megatron, and if you're looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of geeky topics, then check out Altered Geek. Altered Geek covers superheroes, Star Trek, pop culture, comics, film, television, animation, gaming, tech, and more. So check out Altered Geek and get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks every Friday on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Blog Talk Radio, and the Geekcast Radio Network.
You are listening to MarkWHO42's Universe.
Welcome back to more of MarkWHO42's 2026. Well, actually, it is 2026, but it's the 2025 Oscar review.
Yep.
We're previewing for the Oscars coming up in a week or two, I think.
No, March 15th, the day
March
after
15th.
my
So
birthday.
we are airing this on March 5th, so a week-ish, and people might not listen to this until the podcast comes out. So yeah, about a week. And we are doing some really cool stuff because I haven't seen any of these films, most of them, and I'm being told that I should, and maybe I should. Juan, we've got Juan Sanmiguel, Vicky Jakubowski, Kim Farah, our guest. Juan, take it away.
All right, now we're up to films with 4 nominations, and the first one we're going to talk about is on Apple TV, an Apple TV exclusive, and was kind of a surprise, I think, to some people. F1, which is about Formula One racing. It stars Brad Pitt. Essentially, Javier Bardem plays a guy who owns a racing team, and the thing is, the team is not doing so well. He gets the old veteran Brad Pitt to come back on zip up his team, but the team's current star is a little bit jealous and a little bit dealing with why are we bringing this old guy in. But we go into the competition, and it's a sports film. It's up for Best Picture, which is a big surprise, visual effects, editing, and sound. Now, some people said, one of the things that has influenced me, I've been listening to the Blank Check podcast, which has got a sub-podcast covering the Oscars, and they pointed out that since this film is very beautiful in effects and sound and editing, that's why it got a Best Picture nomination. Now, has anybody else seen it?
I have not, but here's what I will say. In the last, I don't know if this is just my brain remembering wrong, but it feels like in the last 10 years, every 3 years or so, there's a racing-related Best Picture nominee.
Oh,
And I'm like, what's happening?
What was the
Ford
last
versus
one?
Ferrari, and
But most of the others were based on true stories, real events that happened. So it's kind of interesting. My understanding with this one, this is not actually based on a real specific incident.
Yep, and they spent a lot of money on this because they go all over Europe. It looks like they're using real racetracks.
They
Of course,
filmed here
have to
in
do some-
Central Florida, didn't they?
Oh.
At the
Oh, yeah,
Daytona, I'm pretty sure.
That's the opening scene. That's the tag because the Brad Pitt character helps a team win in Daytona, and then Javier Bardem says, "Hey, I need you, and I'm willing to offer you a lot of money. I'm willing to offer you whatever you need. I need you to get my team back online to being competitive again, or I'm going to lose it because there's shenanigans, there's business shenanigans that Javier Bardem has got to deal with." So it was a fun movie. I mean, I kind of compared it. It's a lot like Top Gun Maverick in a way.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you how the action scenes were, the car racing.
Oh, the car racing is intense. I'm not a big car racer. Thing is, growing up on Speed Racer, I thought that's what racing was like.
It should be.
Go Speed Racer! Go Speed Racer! Go Speed Racer! Go!
But it was interesting. I mean, they explained it very well. Of course, there's a woman who's the head. I think she's the head of technology. I forget what her role is. And well, I shouldn't say that. Of course, at some point you thought, "Oh, Brad Pitt is going to get intimate with this woman," despite the fact that
you
she's trying
it 2
to be a
seconds in,
professional.
don't you?
I mean, it's handled in good taste, in my opinion. But but that's it follows a lot of the standard beats. I mean, and that's why some people believe that this is here for the technical awards, might win in the technical awards. But I don't. At least the word on the street, at least from what I've heard from Blank Check, is they don't believe that this is going to be real competitive. For
Nah, I
Best
don't think
Picture.
so. But hot take, I don't like any racing films except for the first Cars. So there we go.
Well, on that note, we're going to something else. We're going to Train Dreams, which is another Netflix film. This isn't very. There's not much of a plot. It's just about a guy who was born either the early 20th century or the late 19th century. He's a lumberjack. He gets to establish a family. He gets to do lumberjacky things. He's a decent guy, although he feels guilty at something he saw and something he felt he might have contributed, and he's haunted by that. And unfortunately, bad things happen.
Right.
Some people have compared this to Terrence Malick's work because there's a lot of stuff in the forest. It's very beautiful. I mean, it essentially covers more or less the beginning of this man's life and at the end in the 1960s when he sees John Glenn orbiting the Earth. And it's up for Best Picture Adapted Screenplay. It's based on a novella, original song by Nick Cave, and cinematography. And the cinematography is beautiful. I mean, it's all outdoors. Uh, it's wonderful. Has anybody else seen it?
I have not.
No.
And this
I
is
have
one that I'm
not.
not itching to, personally.
Oh, I'm kind of curious. Is it the comparison to Malik? I mean, I know we were talking about real film nerdy stuff right now.
I am not a
But
Malik fan at all.
fair enough.
So it does not help the case.
Yeah, it feels like having read some things about it that it's a snippet in time of real incidents or similar type incidents that happened with the construction of the railroads, and it's an interesting concept, but I don't feel, and I like strange stuff, but I just feel like it will not keep my attention.
There's very little strange in it, I'll admit. I mean, there's one scene that comes out. I don't want to even blow the scene because it's a beautiful scene in the movie, but it has nothing to do with the overall plot or even how it affects. I'm not even clear how it affects the main character's life, but I assume it was in the original novella, so that's why they kept it
Mm.
in. But again, I understood that. But then again, I think I know it is a movie that at least I know two of us have seen, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are excited. The Secret Agent, which is up for Best Picture, Lead Actor, and Casting, which is a new award this year, Casting.
Yeah.
And it's up for the International Award. It's Brazil. Let me see where
Yeah, I wanted to see this. This is something I plan to see that I
it's right
haven't.
now at Prime, and when remember at
Oh.
Prime you can rent it for like $5 or $6, depending on
Hmm.
how popular the movie is, but it's essentially about a gentleman. It's in the 70s during the height of the Brazilian military
Yeah.
dictatorship. This gentleman is hidden his identity. Unfortunately, he's fallen afoul with powerful people, but he's trying to look up information about his mother. And he's in the bureau which gives out ID cards where he thinks he'll find information about his mother. And we go and that's basically the plot of it. He's trying to find this information, but you're also seeing he's hiding out with other people who are hiding out from this regime or dealing with this regime or trying not to deal with this regime. And you see kind of harshness of it, but there's also moments of levity of it. And he's also trying to be safe, get out of the country with him and his son. And also, there's a group which is recording for testimony to deal with this regime when they're no longer in power. Kim, did I remember you saw it? So do you have any
No,
other
I have
thoughts?
not seen it, but I
Oh, I thought
want
you
to.
did see it.
No, I have it, but I want to really bad. Really, really
Yeah.
bad.
And it's on Prime?
It's on
Well, I mean,
Prime.
you have to pay for it on Prime.
Yeah, Prime. You have to
Okay.
pay for it on Prime.
All right.
Well, I was able to watch it the other day. We'll just leave it at that. And
Yeah,
and I
that's
will
how I'm
be
going to watch it.
honest, it's like, so here was my problem with it.
All right.
The story it was telling, I thought was very important to tell. And the fact that you've got both more or less modern days, the girls listening to the old cassette recordings and then talking to the main character's son, all grown up, and it's a very important story to tell. Um, it was so hard because it was beautiful, it was heart wrenching, it was funny, but for some reason, and I don't know what it is specifically, I just wasn't that into it. And
Was it
normally
this?
I'm really into those stories.
Was it the scene in the park? I don't want to give this away. The insane
Yeah,
scene in
that
the
one
park.
was, yeah,
I don't want to spoil it. That's something I don't want to spoil. There's some
yeah,
insanity in this movie, beautiful insanity in this movie, and the
Okay.
lead
yes,
actor, our main character who goes by two names, uh,
yes.
is he was on the Daily Show, and I like to say he's dreamy, you know, and he does a
Oh.
very good job. He's playing a guy who's on the edge, and um, he may get casually intimate with some of the other women in the film. I mean, but he's also under stress. I mean, I don't know how the mother
Oh,
of his
yeah.
son has died, so the thing is, while he's in the place where everybody's hiding out, people are very free with their love. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. That
That
sounds
was
like a
the
plan. That
70s,
sounds like a fun.
Yeah.
This is yes, exactly. It's a 70s movie. It makes sense. It looks like it's integral to the plot. I'm
Yes.
fine.
I
So,
think it's a really good movie. I don't know. There was,
do you think maybe
I was
like the
really sad
pacing?
that I didn't like it more.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe the pacing had something to do with it?
That might have been, and normally I don't mind a slow pacing film. It just I think some of it got really convoluted, like the
Mm.
multiple names and trying to keep straight who everybody was. And at one point, I was just like, okay, um, I'm going to stick to the main story because it has all these like subplots around
Oh,
it that
Yeah.
maybe a little too much.
okay. Well, I'm gonna see it, and I know
Well, the
Kim
next
says she's gonna see it. So good.
Well, next up, I know that Kim and I saw because we saw it together. Begonia, which is on Prime and Apple for a rental and buy. Did you see it too, Vicky? You're nodding.
Yeah.
Okay, great. This will be. It's up for Best Picture, Lead Actress, Emma Stone, Adapted Screenplay, and Score. Uh, this is a movie. Emma Stone plays the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, and two guys who are you think are pretty much insane, and they are insane, kidnap her because they believe she's the point on an alien invasion, and that's where our plot goes. They hide her out and they shave off
Hmm.
her head and they interrogate her. This is made by the great director that me and Kim are fond of, Yorgos Lanthimos, the Greek director who actually won the Oscar for The Favorite and did Poor Things, Kinds of Kindness. Uh, there's some insanity in all of his movies,
Yes.
Yes.
and he's gotten Emma. So, NPR noted that Emma Stone. He loves torturing Emma Stone in his movies.
Apparently so.
It's his hobby.
This is an interesting movie, and I've got to be honest, I was annoyed by it, and I go back and
Really?
forth. I love some of this director's movies, and other ones I'm just like, I'm over it. I will be honest, and we'll try and keep the spoiler out of it, but the last act was actually the part I truly enjoyed.
Hmm.
Although I will say that I hate it when conspiracy theorists are right, even a little bit.
Oh, that is one thing I want to say before I let Kim say something. Trailer was excellent. Nothing in the third act was revealed in the trailer. And I have to.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll see movies in waves, and I went to the Enzian a lot, and they were previewing this movie a lot. Didn't reveal anything in the third act of the trailer. Kim?
So what I think is really interesting is what many people don't know is that this is a remake. This is
Yes.
not an original movie. And from my understanding, because the whole movie, and again, I'm not going to say one way or the other, the whole movie you're wondering, well, is she actually an alien? Is she not an alien? But in the original movie, it's there's not like that ambiguity. And as someone whose favorite
Ah.
Twilight Zone episode is the Howling Man,
Ah.
I love that ambiguity. That's I think why I loved this movie so much. Of the you're spending that whole time wondering like, well, maybe they do have a point here, and then you're like, actually no, never mind. But maybe. I really enjoyed it. I love his movies. I know for some people it's like hit and miss like you, Vicky, which is like I totally get because he's definitely not for everyone, but for me I just love his stuff so much. Like it's just like he's a silly little guy.
All right. Anything else on Begonia? All right. All right, we'll move through quickly. We're going to talk about live shorts now. in Orlando, it's playing at the NZ, and I don't know if it's playing at any mainstream theaters, but sometimes they send out to the mainstream theaters places where you can see the three short categories. I'd never get around to seeing documentary short just for time reasons, but I saw both live action shorts. I saw, and I'll talk them quickly. The Butcher's Saying is an Israeli film talking about a Palestinian butcher who works at a butcher, and somebody keeps ripping off the poster of the hostages that were taken before the Gaza invasion. And he's got to figure it out because he really needs this job, and that's what draws out that film. A Friend of Dorothy is about an older British woman who's 87, and she takes in this guy who kicked a football into her garden and teaches him about plays and works with him in plays, and what happens at the end. And it's The Friend of Dorothy. Jane Austen's period drama is a parody of Jane Austen's play, where unfortunately, the Austen heroine in this short film has an accident which the males don't know much about in this time period.
That was so hilarious.
You saw it, Vicky.
What is this one called? What is this one called?
Jane Austen's period drama. Did you see all of them, Vicky, or just that one?
I did not, but there are several that are available online through YouTube. So I went through as many of them as I could find.
Okay. We have The Singers, which is based on an Ivan Tuganev, I believe that's the name of the Russian writers, which is about a bunch of guys in a bar, and they'll get a free beer and $100 bill if they could sing well. Now, this is also on YouTube. Two people exchanging saliva. It's a black and white French film where kissing is made illegal, and it's beautiful to look at. Although, Vicky, there's a scene there where people get slapped when they buy certain goods. Did you figure out how that worked? Me and my friend couldn't figure out how that worked.
Apparently, when you buy something, you get slapped based on the value, which is why everyone's bruised. If you're rich, you have big bruises on your face. Interesting concept. I mean, the no kissing was a concept in its own. Then you get slapped if you buy stuff. I was just like, okay. It actually almost felt distracting because the rest of it was haunting and amazing and oh my God. And then the slapping almost feels like, okay, that's distracting from the rest of the story.
Okay. But the cinematography on it is beautiful. Again, black and white.
If you don't have a tear in your eye by the end of this, you are hard.
Although if you are caught kissing, they throw you in a box and then they throw that box in a gully.
That's all?
Well, the thing is, they tie you up and then they throw you in the box and throw you in the gully.
Naturally.
Yeah. So that's it. Anybody else see the shorts?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Then we'll go to Best Animated Shorts. Again, they're also playing. Butterfly, these are all different styles. This is an interesting year. I'll talk in Quill, and you Vicky, tell me if you've seen them. Butterfly is an autobiography of a French swimmer. Unfortunately, before World War II, he's Jewish. I forget where his nationality was. Algiers. He's from Algiers. He's Jewish and unfortunately has a rough time during the war. But he also won gold in 1936 as Hitler's Olympics. Yeah, and it's a beautiful life, although there is pain in it. Vicky, did you get to see it?
Yes. The loss of the wife and the daughter in Auschwitz, it breaks your heart. And then when he comes back and he goes to the 1948 London Olympics and he competes again, you're rooting for him.
Wow.
And then when I found out it was a true story, it just killed me. Now, here's the funny thing. I was trying to figure out the tie to butterfly. I was like, well, why is it butterfly? A papillon is butterfly. Mm-hmm. And then my husband, who's a swimmer, points out, he's doing the butterfly.
Oh.
I used to do the butterfly stroke in races.
So I'm like, oh my God, I totally missed that. That explains it all now. Other than the metaphysical butterfly, he also literally did the butterfly.
All right.
Very cool.
All right. After that, we have Forever Green, which is...
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
It's a fairy tale. Essentially, it's about a bear. and a sentient tree, and they're friends. But unfortunately, the bear, well, he starts as a cub, and unfortunately, he has human food, and he gets greedy, and bad things happen, and he needs the help of the tree, who is he forsaken. It's just a wonderful fairy tale against greed,
Yeah.
and it's beautifully animated. Um, Vicky, any more thoughts on it?
It is a very traditional one that you would expect to win. It's still heartfelt and really nice. I think it's really good, but I think there might be a couple others that are stronger contenders in the pile.
Well, I wonder if you think one of them is The Girl Who Cried Pearls. This is a
Oh my
story of a
God.
grandfather who tells his granddaughter the story about where he found these pearls that are in his study. He tells the story about how when he was a rough and tough kid working the streets, he's on the lam and he discovers this really dysfunctional family, and the daughter of this dysfunctional family cries pearls, which he gets and shows to a pawnbroker, and they're the most valuable pearls in the world. And what are the consequences of this discovery? It almost looked like it's puppets. I don't know if I didn't get. I
It is.
forgot.
It's stop motion.
It's stop motion, and it's beautiful. It's told by this gentleman. Is this online? I mean, is it on
It
is it on
is.
YouTube?
I saw it on YouTube.
All right, check it out. Any more thoughts on it, Vicky?
Absolutely gorgeous.
All right. Next we got a little bit this one got a little bit of raunchy notice, and at least when I saw it, it's called Retirement Plan, which is about a guy. It's a very simple animation, 2D animation, where a guy talks about everything he's going to do for retirement, and some of it is quite humorous. I think it got because he talked about things that he wanted to do, which might not even be legal in some places. But Vicky, any opinions?
As somebody who is getting closer to retirement, I so feel him, especially I'm going to answer all my emails.
All right.
That one made me smile.
And last but not least, this is what I saw opening last night when I saw it, is The Three Sisters. It's a 2D animation, which is about three sisters who live on an island, and unfortunately, due to circumstances, they lose all their money, so they gotta put in a renter who's this rough and tough sailor, and he disrupts their lives, and things go a little bit crazy. It's I'm kind of surprised this didn't get a raunchy notice, and it was the first one in. Vicky, what'd you think?
I didn't get to see. I tried to find this one everywhere, and I could not find this one to stream anywhere, including some of the,
All
YouTube
right.
channels you shouldn't look at.
It's a fun one. I mean, the animation, as I said, it's traditional animation, at least as I remember it. So I thought it was okay. This is the way that they ordered it. They opened it up. So that's it for short films. Mark, you want to cut it off now?
Let's start with animated features. Let's go for it.
Okay, well, animated features, I'll try to go as quick as I can. Let me pull them up. We've already talked about K-pop. Arco, this film was playing at the Enzion for a while, and also at regular theaters. It's about a young boy from the far future, and he accidentally travels in time into our future, which is 2075, and he meets a girl named Iris who tries to help him out to get back home. They're being chased by three conspiracy theorists who are more comical than threatening, but essentially they want to get Arco back home, and there's a forest fire. This is a world with robots, and some of the robots are trying to sincerely help. Some of them are trying to get in the way. What, did you see Arco, Vicky?
No, but it sounds like I really need to see it.
The robots are very mechanical. To me, they're almost Asimovian. They seem to follow the three laws quite well, and they are trying to protect. And also, an interesting thing is Iris has a baby brother, and she has this bubble to keep him in, because the thing is, her parents are working in a town they're working out of town. They're remote working, and so they leave the robot to keep an eye on her and her baby brother. But she always is responsible for her baby brother. He's in a safe cocoon bubble, so nothing will happen to him in the film. You feel no jeopardy for the baby brother. Kim, I forgot. Did you check it out at the Regal? I know it was playing at the Regal.
No, the only animated ones I've seen are K-pop and Zootopia 2.
All right. Well, let's get to Elio was Pixar's entry this year. It's about a young boy. Off camera, he loses his parents and he gets stuck with his well-meaning but uh, kind of trying to balance work and home balance. Aunt Olga. Oh, did you see it, Vicky? You're not.
I did. It was cute. A little formulaic, but to be expected. And I definitely, by the time it ended, I liked it so much better than when I started.
Well, I should have mentioned. So the boy's whole thing is he's frustrated about his relationship with his aunt, so he wants to get kidnapped by aliens, and the aliens do come. But unfortunately, the aliens are they're lovely, peaceful aliens, but they're being harassed by hostile bad aliens, and this causes problems. And he wants to stay with the good aliens, but he has to deal with the bad aliens, so he can stay with the good aliens, and things go.
Hijinks ensue.
Hijinks ensue. Perfect way to say it, Vicky. It's a fun little film. It's obviously playing on Disney Plus. Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, I'll go through this real quick. It's about seeing the world through a 2-year-old girl. It's playing on Prime. You got to rent it out. It's about a little girl. She at first is in a vegetative state, but then she comes out of that vegetative state. Her parents are Belgian. The father's a diplomat working in Japan, so she's growing up in Japan. She has a Japanese nanny. It's very beautiful to look at. It's essentially looking at the mentality. It's based on a book, looking through the mentality of a 2-year-old girl and how we see everything. And last but not least is Zootopia, where we get to meet the reptiles. And that is still playing in theaters at the time of this recording. It is not on Disney yet, but I assume it will be eventually.
You can rent it on Prime and Apple and all those other ones, but you can't see it for free yet on Disney.
Gotcha. But you know what you can see for free?
What?
Well, MarkWHO42 and Hurricane Who. Remember Hurricane Who won convention that Jared Cooper threw? We are hosting a Doctor Who signing meet and greet in Central Florida. It's in Cocoa at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Cocoa. And we're going to have people like Sylvester McCoy, Carol Ann Ford, who played Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter, Sophie Aldred, my girlfriend Ace, Nicola Bryant, Fraser Hines, Ian McNeice is going to be there, Tim Dane Reed, John Davey, who we had on a show back in 2018, Simon Carew, Gareth Weekly, and Nev Fountain. This is going to be a meet and greet and signing. It's not a convention. It's not panels, but it is a place you can meet your celebrities from Doctor Who, get autographs. They do cost, and pictures. It's going to be fun. It's because of Dan Harris's Sci-Fi Sea Cruise, which left out of Baltimore earlier this week. They are now, this Sunday, going to be at Port Everglades, and they're going to take a van, come over, and we're going to get to host a great thing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I know that Nicola Bryant, I don't think has been in Central Florida in how many years? I don't know, but it's going to be great. Juan, Kim, you guys should come.
I would be very excited to come. That sounds like a great event.
Yeah, it's on Sunday, March 8th, which this is airing on the 5th, is this Sunday. It's going to be amazing. Like I said, autographs, selfies, they do cost money. Sylvester McCoy, his autograph is $50, selfie is $50. A combo of both an autograph and selfie are $80. And a quote from him, which I'm not really sure how it works, is $40. It may be online, I'm not sure how that works. But all the guests, the monsters, people who are monsters, have like $20 autographs and $10 selfies. So the prices are all, comparable and better than convention prices. I think if you went to a convention, Sylvester would cost a lot more than just $50. But I hope you guys come. Like I said, it's at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Cocoa, and it's anyone can come in. It's going to be great. This is also, like I said, Hurricane Who, Sci-Fi Sea Cruise, us, MarkWHO42, and Defender Comics. I had to fit that in there. We are going to take a break. Usually we'd say we're going to end the show, but no, we have an extra hour on Subspace Radio. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Kim Farah, Vicky Jakubowski, Juan Sanmiguel, and myself, Mark Baumgarten, talking about the Oscars awards, which are coming up here on MarkWHO42. We'll be right back.
Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll be back with more MarkWHO42 after this.
Get ready for the ultimate geek experience right here in the Sunshine State. Florida Geek Scene presents a full calendar of events and conventions. From anime to horror, we've got it all. Meet your favorite stars, find rare collectibles, and immerse yourself in your passion. Experience the thrill of cosplay and witness amazing live performances. Stay up to date with the latest news and reviews all across Florida. Florida Geek Scene, where pop culture happens. Visit us online for more. Don't miss out on the fun. Join us at Florida Geek Scene, floridageekscene.com.
Hi there. I've just got to be a bit quiet for a minute because I've got this funny feeling. Oh, by the way, it's Sophie Aldred here. I played Ace in Doctor Who. And there's this guy called Mark, okay? And he's kind of following me around, and I'm kind of trying to hide from him, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. MarkWHO42. Yeah, guys, I don't know how this is going to go, okay? So help me out if I need it, all right? Okay. Brilliant. Here we go.
Welcome back to MarkWHO42 here on Subspace Radio. I bet you're going, wait a minute, where's our Star Trek music? We want to listen to Star Trek. No, MarkWHO42, we have an extra hour here on Subspace because we are talking all about the Oscar Awards, which are coming up in a week and a half. We are very excited to be doing a preview of it. Juan Sanmiguel, Vicky Jakubowski, Kim Farah, myself, Mark Baumgarten. Juan, take her away.
All right,
part 3.
We're gonna talk about some single nominations which made it into the big awards, which in this case is the Actors Award. So we're going to talk, first one, we're going to talk about Song Sung Blue, which lead actress Kate Hudson won for, if you just give me a minute, I forgot what was the name of the character that she played. Claire Sardina. The movie's about a couple who become part of who form essentially a Neil Diamond cover band and have great success with it, but they also have great tragedy. I mean, Kate Hudson's character, literally this woman got hit by a car while tending her garden. A car just drove in to her front garden. They don't even bother to explain it. And she loses a leg. Which is something in common because you also lose a leg in it was an accident also.
I was going to say, there's a tie.
It was just an accident. There's a tie. Song Sung is playing is also on Amazon Prime, which also might mean it's on Apple TV for rental or. It's a good movie.
I mean, just literally premiered on either Paramount or Peacock. Also.
Oh. Okay.
Because I happened to see it as I was flipping around for other things. So. Now, I will tell you, when I went to go see this, I thought it was something completely different. And I went with my parents. My father's a huge Neil Diamond fan. So we went to go see it. We all loved it. And then the shock to find out it's a true story.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And not only that, when what happened was the director of this movie saw the documentary a few years back.
Oh.
And the guy who did the documentary wanted to do a feeture film and was told by studios that nobody will ever believe this story. You can't do a feature film on it. Well, they're really, Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson are really singing. They're really good. And then to throw in a plug, my cousin Raven, who is a costumer and a seamstress on Broadway, did some of the costumes in this movie.
That's awesome.
Which I found out afterwards. So
wow.
It was really cute.
I think that's super cool. That is so cool. But going back to what you said about you went in thinking it was a different type of movie, I had to break the news to my grandma when she was heading to the movie. She was like, "Oh, we're seeing a movie about Neil Diamond." I'm like, "No, you're not, Grandma."
I thought that's what I was going to go see.
I thought it was the Broadway production of Neil Diamond has a Broadway show, and I thought it was the film version of that. And about 2 minutes in, we're like, "Hang on."
Well, for a movie that I wanted to see, I don't know anymore. I did think it was a Neil Diamond biopic.
It's really good. It's really entertaining. And if you like Neil Diamond's music, you will be tapping your foot the whole frickin' time.
When I'm doing music bingo and we play Sweet Caroline, I force them to join in.
Okay, there is a thing about Sweet Caroline because everyone likes Sweet Caroline.
Oh, yes.
And Hugh Jackman's character is like, no. I
Oh,
will
no,
not
no.
sing that song.
Oh,
Well,
no.
wait,
When I
wait.
was,
I thought
if I have too many drinks in me, I will be singing Sweet Caroline.
Bum, bum, bum.
But wait a minute, Vicky. I thought the thing was he didn't want to open with Sweet Caroline.
He didn't want to open with it. He also was like, everybody wants Sweet Caroline. There's 5 million other songs we can sing. Why aren't we singing those? If he had his way, he would not sing Sweet Caroline because it was the fan favorite and it was overdone. And it was just really fun.
I want to see it now.
Now, to assure your people, they do. It's kind of. I will say this: the scene where she has her accent. The thing is, you see her going into her garden, and you see her in the foreground. In the background, you see a car weaving back and forth. So that, and then they cut to the hospital, which I thought was in good taste. So.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, my first thought was one of the places I lived was Killeen, Texas, outside of Fort Hood. And we lived on a road that people would come off the freeway at full speed, and our mailbox was taken out on more than one time. And my mother used to be terrified because us 3 kids at the time, there was only 3 of us, and our room was right up front. And she was just terrified about someone coming in. So I saw that scene. I was like, oh God, she's gone. I was shocked.
I'm thinking Life on Mars. I'm thinking the first scene of Life on Mars, the TV show from England, where Sam Tyler, played by John Sim, steps out of his car, and the next thing he's not there, and they cut to a car going by. So I don't know how he lived past that. That's if you got hit like that, that's it. You're smashed. Anyway, back to
yes.
Sorry.
So next to another onesie, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which got a lead actress nomination for Rose Byrne.
More legs.
Who plays Linda. Linda is a woman who's completely at the end of her rope. Her her daughter is suffering from an eating disorder. And her apartment there's a hole in her ceiling caused by water damage, so she has to live. Her husband is a ship captain, so he's not there for support. Played by Christian Slater. She's a therapist, but she also needs therapy. Her therapist is played by the host of this year's Oscars, Conan O'Brien, and everything that can possibly go wrong is going wrong. You wonder, is it her? Well, maybe I'm wrong. Is it? Is she going too far? I mean, the resolution for this is not clean, but she does a very good job. Vicky, did you see it, or did I mishear you?
I have not seen it yet. It's on my list because I know I think it's on HBO now.
Yes, it is. Let me double check on my list.
It's
yes,
nice.
It is on HBO. It is on HBO, so you can catch it.
If I could have watched it last night, I would have.
Oh, I gotta go. Forget this recording. I gotta go.
Bye. I'm going. I'll be back. I'm gonna leave it on autopilot.
I will say this: it is not a fun film, but
maybe I'm coming back.
I think most women could probably identify with it.
Yes, I mean, it's stress, and you do question some of the decisions she makes, but
sounds about
that's
right.
great perfect. And in fact, CBS Sunday Morning today, as we record this, actually did a profile on Miss Byrne, who I didn't realize is married to Bobby Cannavale, he played Irving on Mr. Robot, and he's also he plays the bartender in Blue Moon. So which is awesome. So let's move on to another one. They just want to pull
Amy in Weapons.
Yeah.
Amy Madigan in Weapons. Weapons is a very disturbing movie. For some reason, an entire class except for one elementary school class except for one boy disappears at 2:17, and it is a multi-character film. You flip between characters to try to find out this mystery of what happened to the kids. Is it the teacher of the class? We go to the father who's investigating. Now, interestingly enough, Amy Madigan does not show up for the first. She probably shows up in the middle of the second act. She's a strange woman who doesn't know how to use makeup, apparently. And she
didn't even recognize her.
Spoilers.
we have to spoil this film because she only appears at the end of the movie. She's responsible for all the kids disappearing because she is a witch. And it's very
Whoa.
disturbing. She's very scary. She terrifies the young boy because the one boy who didn't disappear, that's his aunt. And
Yep.
we find out about it. Kim, I forgot that you said you saw it, right? Or
Yes,
you
yes. And I just have to say, because historically, the Oscars, yes, it has its moments where it does recognize horror. So, but it's very few and far between. So
Yeah.
to have a moment where they finally give someone their due is really
Yeah.
amazing because there's this one particular scene where Amy Madigan's character, she's talking directly to the boy, who they do actually imply it's implied she's not their aunt. She's just kind of weaved their way into that family's life, but she's just kind of being like, I can have your family like eat each other if they want.
Ay.
Like it's just
She's
she's very
good.
but she delivers it almost like in this calm, creepy way, and it absolutely well done. And I think some people
Yeah.
kind of toss this nomination aside because like, oh, it's horror, it's not serious.
But
There,
she's amazing in
she's
it,
amazing in it,
which
and
is why I
just
don't recommend the movie.
exactly, yeah. But I just it doesn't. You don't have to be in a drama for to be considered a good actor. There's
Yes.
different kinds of good
Okay.
acting, and here's an example of
Yes.
it. I think.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty. I mean, I thought. Kevin, just curious. I mean, obviously we all say that Amy's Madigan's performance is great, but I felt it worked as a horror movie. Do you agree with that? I mean, I know horror is a very good passion of yours.
I do think it worked. There were some parts where I think maybe it could have been a little stronger. But I think overall it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Um, and surprisingly funny at parts. Like there was this one character who's like kind of an aside character who's just kind of living his own life. Like not he's just this guy in this town, and he had me laughing out loud. So there are some moments of humor in this as well.
All right. All right, now we're going to go move up into our next stage of nominations. We're going to go to 9 nominations. We have 3 films in that.
What about
Uh,
Hamnet?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
forgot
What
What
about
about
Hamnet.
Hamnet? You missed 8.
oh, wait, did I forget something?
You
Justice for
forgot
Hamnet?
Hamnet. 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the thing screwed up. My mistake. Uh, 8 nominations are Hamnet, Best Picture, Director, Lead Actress, Jessie Buckley, who plays Agnes or uh, Hathaway,
Yes.
Shakespeare's wife, Adapted Screenplay, Score, Production Design. I saw this movie at the Enzion before I went home for Christmas. It's a beautiful film, and I need to tell
Hmm.
you what scene sold it to me, where it had me. Um, when Shakespeare never gets only gets named once in this film, uh, meets Agnes in the film. I guess they decided to call her Agnes because nobody's sure what her true name was, and they don't want to also confuse her with the other Anne Hathaway.
Exactly. It's just such a
Mm.
coincidence. I mean, that's her name, you know?
But anyway, what impressed me is so once I forget if I think it was their first meeting in the woods because Agnes is this creature of nature, and he tells her a story. He tells her the story of Orpheus,
Mm.
and I think ladies, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's where they realize, okay, wait, this guy's going places. This guy's got some game. This guy's a
Yeah.
Well,
storyteller, and he deserves to go to London and find his art. Find his niche. And that's where it got me, and that's where it sold me into the film. I mean, the film is about grief. It's about dealing with the loss of a child and other things. And the ending scene, I will defend it. It's beautiful. There are people
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard who are a little bit critical of it. If you guys are critical of it, go right ahead.
well, I'm critical of it, but so my first degree is in English literature, specializing in Shakespeare.
Oh,
And
cool.
I I was going in thinking it was one film. And I was exceedingly disappointed about 5 minutes in when I realized that this is a novelization that has virtually nothing to do with the real story.
Wow. Okay.
And unfortunately for me, that tainted it. Now, I will say it is visually beautiful. Overall, as a story, if they didn't use the word Shakespeare and Hathaway, I might have been fine with it. Um, the actual story is far more tragic and so much more involved, that it made it really hard for me to enjoy. Because well, that didn't happen. No, that's not real. Oh my God, they got that wrong too. And that's always my problem with anything that is a historical novelization, is that being a history person, especially when it comes to Shakespeare, you can disagree. He wrote them, he didn't wrote them. I can debate that with you all day long. I'm okay with that. But when you have a complete novelization, and we know the American public looks at a movie and says, "Oh, that's Shakespeare's life." They did that with Shakespeare in Love too, which is also a film I did not like.
Oh, I actually like that one.
I
As
hated
a
that,
story, not as I just thought it was a good story.
except for Dame Judi Dench. I
That
hated
was the
that
best
movie.
part. Kind of like in Prince of Thieves when the king comes at the end. That's the best part.
But it is a beautiful movie. I do believe that it is well acted and well written. It's frustrating because it is historically completely inaccurate.
Gotcha.
Kim?
I can totally respect that, like 100%. But I personally don't have a problem with it. It's also based on a book
Yeah,
that is kind of
I
like
learned that later.
yeah. So I personally had no qualms with that. But again, I don't come from your educational background with Shakespeare and all that, so I can see where you're coming from. I absolutely loved it. I know some people take the acting, like especially that last scene, or just Jesse Buckley's acting overall, they think it's overacted. I wholeheartedly disagree. I think there's different ways to grieve, and that's how
Yeah.
her character grieves. And I think something I've seen from people talking about film lately within maybe the last 3 years is that people have forgotten to be sincere with art. And when there's
Yes.
these sincere moments, sometimes people think it's funny. And I think it's beautiful to see human nature on screen. And I absolutely love this movie. I'm a big fan of Jessie Buckley. I think she's a phenomenal actress. And gosh, I hope she wins everything.
I do think it
Vicky,
was a nice touch to have brothers playing Hamlet, the actor who plays Hamlet, and the younger brother playing Hamnet.
Mm,
They're brothers in real life. So there is actually, they didn't have to do much to make them look similar.
that's really cool. I did not know that.
That was a really nice touch. And it's always nice when you can do those things and you have that added benefit of, it's real. And I agree with you. Her laughter at the end, I mean, anyone who has gone through grief knows that you will often be irrational, illogical, and yes, you will laugh inappropriately sometimes, and it makes no sense, not even to you.
Yes, that's very spot on.
That's just
Vicky?
human psychology, damn it.
Hey, Vicky, I will say one thing, and I'll bring it up and you can shoot it down. One of the things I heard about the thing is we really don't know that much detail about Shakespeare or Agnes's life. So, is it? Are you saying that
We
they
have,
violated?
well, she was older than him significantly, and she actually had been married previously. And so, from what we have from the records, and the will is very telling. And if you didn't know, Shakespeare left Anne Hathaway his second best bed. That's what he's left his wife in his will. That tells you a
Oh,
lot.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
And so
No.
we have a lot from the legal document side of it and the church documents, but you're right, we don't have a lot other, but we do have a lot from both the church and the legal documents. And so the setting is incorrect. And you know, his father's debts is correct. His father was always in debt. His father was a teacher. Um and but once Shakespeare left for London, he never came back to Stratford upon Avon.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
He
You
never
learn
went
something
home.
new every day here on
Yeah.
MarkWHO42.
Okay.
So he left and he didn't never turn back. And he also never appeared in his own productions.
So now 9 nominations. We'll start out with Sentimental Value, which is up for Best Picture, Director, Lead Actress, Renate Renziv. I don't know if I'm butchering that name right. It's a Norwegian name. Supporting actresses: Igna Lealis and Elle Fanning. Supporting actor Stellan Skarsgård. Original screenplay, international film editing. The story is about a film director and his daughters. Their mother has just died. The film director and the mother have been divorced for several years. A lot of it takes place in the house that they bought together, but the wife got during the divorce. They're stressed because they felt that their director father, it was his fault that they broke up, and also, how much of a father was he to them? And he wants to make a movie about their life. And the thing is, the daughter that's played by Renate, uh, he wants her to play her essentially herself in the story that's loosely based on his life. She's not comfortable with that, so he hires Ellie Fanning, who's an American actress, who's a sincere, good American actress, trying to make this film. And it's not going. They'll also make a check that they're getting some money from Netflix to make the movie, which is kind of funny. And it's a very character-based film about this family trying to get together and trying to make peace with each other, and while making this movie. Now, I forget, have either of you seen it?
No, but I've really wanted to. It's just the moment I found out about this movie, it left the theaters, like literally immediately. I
Yeah,
was
but
not meant to see this movie.
Regal did a dirty trick. They didn't tell you that they didn't put any trailers in front of it, because I usually go get a pizza and sometimes I'll time it with the trailers. So I missed a little bit of the beginning of it, which is essentially parents arguing, kids hiding in their room, at least as I remember. Uh, it's a beautiful film to look at. Both I forget if Vicky saw this, but we saw The Worst Person in the World, which also starred the same actress. She did a great job in that, and I think she does
It's
a pretty
on
good
my
job.
list, and I hope to see it soon.
I mean, Kim, what did you think about her performance in The Worst Person in the World?
I thought I think she's a great actress. So I'm very excited to be able to see this because that's the only work of hers I have seen. So kind of seeing her progression since then, because it's been what, like 5 years since Worst Person in the World, which is crazy to say, but very, very excited to see this one day.
All right, and I forgot to mention Hamlet's on Prime and Sentimental Values on Prime, at least according to Just Watt. And the
Yeah.
next movie is Marty Supreme, which it's up for Best Picture, Director, Lead Actor Timothy Chalamet, Original Screenplay, Casting, Production Design, Costume, Editing, and Cinematography. This is about a young man in 1952, 25. He is a phenom of table tennis, which is what you should call it, not that other name, which some people find offensive.
Ping pong. Don't say that.
And he will do anywhere to get to be the table tennis champion. He will not stop. And he does very horrible things to do so. And that, I think, is the divisive part of the movie. And there's a controversial interpretation of the ending. Kim, I know you saw it. Vicky, I forgot if you saw it or not.
I have not.
So, Kim, what's your impression?
So I was hesitant at first to see this movie because I thought I was gonna hate it. I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks really annoying and pretentious. But then I saw the movie and I was like, oh my gosh, this flew by. It was great. It was absolutely phenomenal. I thought Timothy Chalamet, he's great at what he does. Let's be honest. Like he's a good actor, and I've seen several different interpretations of the ending. I myself have had a different interpretation from everyone else I've seen. So it's just one of those where there's not a clear answer, I think, on how to interpret his final reaction, which I don't want to give away too much. But I do have to say that there was this one moment where he kind of has to humble himself in a very, very demeaning way. But it's not played for laughs in the movie, and the theater laughed, and that just made me so uncomfortable because I was like, this is it's the undertones to it were just very unsettling, and it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, where the sincerity I think has left the audience, if you will. But I thought it was very well done. I really enjoyed Murder Supreme very, very much.
Well, I'll just say this. That scene that you're talking about, it just shows how far he will go to get his goal, and that's the whole thing. He will do anything to get his goal of being the championship
The
and
ping
all
pong?
the benefits that will come with it.
Is this a true story?
It is loosely based. It is not truly based. There was a guy named Marty who was a tennis champ, but he did not do the horrible things that he does in this movie.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, because you were, yeah, okay, scaring me there. Okay, guys, we have to take a break. We are not done with 9 nominations. We have a really good one. Well, I haven't seen it, but the title of it makes me think it's a really good one. I'm Mark Baumgarten. We have Juan Sanmiguel, Vicky Jakubowski, Kim Farah. This is MarkWHO42's 2026 but 2025 Oscar preview. We'll be right back after this.
Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Mark Who 42 after this.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news,
play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film.
Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, or geekcastradio.com.
You are listening to MarkWHO42's Universe.
Welcome back to more of MarkWHO42 here on Subspace Radio. That's right, you're listening to us 90 minutes in, and we're not done. This is our Oscar preview coming up. Oscars are on March 15th, I think.
March 15th on Sunday.
Coming up. Juan Sanmiguel, Victoria Jakubowski, Vicky, and Kim Farah are my co-hosts. Kim's our guest. And let's do more. We were talking about the movies that got 9 nominations. We talked about Sentimental Value. We talked about Marty Supreme. But there's one more that I like the title to. Go for it, Juan.
Well, it's a classic Frankenstein done by Netflix and Guillermo del Toro. It is not a completely faithful adaptation. I mean, and I should mention it's up for Best Picture, supporting actor Jacob Elordi, who is right now playing, I assume, Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights, which is out in theaters right now.
Okay.
It's up for adapted screenplay, score, sound, production design, cinematography, makeup and hair, and costume. Guillermo del Toro does take the novel, but he does tweak the novel in places. He changes characters around, character relationships around, but essentially it's the basic thing. Oscar Isaacs plays Victor Frankenstein, who had issues with his father, and his mother is taken away from him much too soon, and he decides he will create life. And we first hear his side of the story, we hear the monster side of the story, and it all ends up in the Arctic, and things happen.
I like the fact that they did. I haven't seen it, but you're telling me they play things around and it's not actually faithful. That actually makes me want to see it, because we've seen Frankenstein. We've read Frankenstein over and over.
There is not an adaptation of Frankenstein that has ever truly been faithful.
Exactly.
Right. But what I'm also saying is that, now you're seeing almost a different movie, a different story. So there's reason to come into the theater. And Benicio del Toro is a reason to come into the theater. But I think that having stories, if you're doing a remake, don't do it the same way, because why'd you do it?
Well,
so I'm glad they didn't, and I do want to see this.
I think thematically they kept it very true to the story that she was telling, the Gothic nightmare. The man cannot create on his own, that his woman is required, and he uses so-called science to circumvent that issue. And what I do like is the fact that in the novel we do get different points of view, because we have reading of the diary, we've got Frankenstein talking to the captain, we've got the creature's point of view in other areas. So I like that, because so rarely do we get that. And I do think that Jacob, who's playing the creature, is absolutely phenomenal. And I think they get the spirit of the story correct.
Good. That's all you need then.
I started. I haven't finished it because we're watching it as a family, and my mother-in-law had to go to sleep, so we need to finish it. You know how it goes with family sometimes, where someone will get sleepy, or it's like, oh, well, we'll have to all call it a night. But I appreciated that they try to make things different. I like the ways they try to make it different personally. I but I think Jacob Elordi is within the last 6 months coming out with movies where they're not faithful to the books. Frankenstein and Wuthering Heights, so it seems to be his MO a little bit. But
Well, there's
I
another one. Has there ever been a faithful adaptation of Wuthering Heights?
literally no. Just can someone please adapt the second half of the book, please,
Yes.
one day.
Yes.
But I do have to respect, taking some risks here. And then, of course, every Guillermo del Toro movie is just so beautiful to look at.
Oh
So
my
even
God,
if you
yes.
don't like the substance of the movie, you're still liking what you're actually absorbing.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I mean, one of the things that I don't think I'm kind of curious how both of you feel about how Mia Goth is presented as this movie. She's always the biggest source of light in any scene she's in. Like, she's the example of purity. I mean, she's the only person, at least in the household, who shows any kindness to the monster, to the creature.
He just wants some love.
That's all anyone wants.
That's it exactly. And then the fact that they've got stories about fathers and sons, which, Frankenstein and this creature really are. And you've got that searching for acceptance and love that both of them are technically looking for. And it goes deeper into some possible motivations of both characters. And I do feel like the other characters are those are always interesting, the way that those are portrayed, the side characters, because to be honest, in this story, 99% of it is the creature and Frankenstein. The side characters, everyone does something a little different with them.
All right, there's one thing I'll bring about Frankenstein, but I think that'll be towards the end. Um, any more other thoughts on Frankenstein? Well, let's move on to a big movie. 13 nominations, one battle after the other, which is, I believe, on nope, it's on HBO.
It's on HBO.
Yep.
And it's up for Best Picture, Director, Lead Actor, Leonardo DiCaprio, Supporting Actor, Sean Penn, and Benicio del Toro. Supporting Actress, Triana Taylor. Adapted Screenplay, Score, Casting, Sound, Production Design, Cinematography, and Editing. Uh, this film is essentially this film is a loose adaptation of Vineland by Thomas Pynchon, but it's a complicated story. At the beginning, we follow a leftist activist group which is liberating people from detention centers and causing chaos and raising money. But they're one of the Tiana Taylor character, Perfida Beverly Hills, gets captured and she rats out, and a lot of people that captured her have to go underground. And one of Leonardo DiCaprio, who was Perfida's boyfriend, and we don't know if she's the father of their child. Takes has to go underground. But Sean Penn, who had an affair or at least a dalliance with Perfida, is trying to seek the child because that could get him into trouble for being part of an elite white supremacy group. Which has Kevin Tighe, for those of us old enough to remember Kevin Tighe from the 70s, leading it. And so we get in this chase, and we have to make sure that the daughter Perfida is safe because she's being chased by people. And I don't know if that's the best way to sum up the story. It's very well done. I mean, you're on the edge. I mean, it's a very long film, but I think there isn't a part that I would cut that I could think of. Now, if you guys disagree with me, let me know.
So I really liked the first two-thirds of this movie. I thought it was really the tension and the fast-paced nature of the first act really grabs you. Then the second act with focus more on Leonardo DiCaprio uh trying and sometimes failing to be a father. I thought that was really well done. The third act, it falls, in my opinion, to the what I call the classic Paul Thomas Anderson blunder, where he doesn't know how to finish movies sometimes, and I think it kind of lost its footing a bit toward the end, but I do have to say this this movie has the best representation I've ever seen of being on the phone with a customer service person ever. It's like I was cackling. So for that alone, give it the award.
Okay, I'm going to be the unpopular opinion. I did not like this film. There were bits and pieces I liked, but I didn't like any of the characters. I couldn't identify with anyone. I couldn't, which is probably exactly what it's supposed to do. But I just was like, "Oh my god, die already." And I hate it when I feel that way. I so disliked so many of these characters. I didn't want anyone to win, well, except for the daughter. You know,
Yeah,
even though
wait.
she was a typical teenager, I still rooted more for her than anybody else.
I've got to ask you, you weren't rooting for Benicio del Toro? Who
I was
plays...
not. I don't know. By that point, I was already like,
he's the most competent person in the film. Kim, wouldn't you agree?
But by that point, I
love
was
his
already
character.
so angry with everyone.
That's fair.
You know, it just I get the overall gist. I get what they're trying to do. It just didn't move me in any way, and I like things that go boom, you know. And I did like the explosions; those were good.
Those are Michael Bay.
Yes, those are Michael Bay-ish. But it's weird because I mean, you guys know I have a very eclectic taste in movies, and I wanted to get behind this. I wanted to like it, and I don't know. At some point, I kind of checked out, so I'm sorry.
No, I can respect that.
That's okay. Not everyone likes all my crazy films too.
But they should.
But they should, damn it.
No, I can get it to you. I mean, the thing is, Leonardo DiCaprio is incompetent. Let me put it nicely.
Oh God, yes. He's incompetent. The only thing he does right is he builds great bombs.
And Sean Penn is obviously the villain of the piece.
God.
And now, wait, Kim, you're saying, "Oh my God," is it because he's the villain?
I hate Sean so much, which obviously you're meant to. He's a horrible person, but God,
you really hate this character.
I hate this character.
Yes. And it's really funny because I had the pleasure of meeting Sean Penn several years ago when he was filming The Pledge. They actually used the restaurant I was GM at the time as one of the sets, and we made lunch for everyone. We got to meet Jack Nicholson and Robin and Sean, and it was really great. And he does some very uncomfortable characters over the years.
Oh yeah.
And he does them really well. He also does good characters really well, but he does them really well. And I detested that character. I think that was the beginning of the downfall. Is just that character just kept gnawing at me.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is this thing was probably filmed. I don't know how long it was filmed, but it just kind of hit certain notes today, unfortunately.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
it did.
Purposely, for sure.
Which is one of the reasons I wanted to like it.
And also, technically, one of the things I did like was, and you can disagree with me, I liked the kind of things they were doing with the cars at the end. It was the most unusual car chase I'd ever seen, and I guess it's like that in that area of California. If they were filming it in California, it's set in
I could see that
in rural California. But here's something we could do a whole show on this. 16 nominations, which is a record. Sinners. Best Picture, Director, Lead Actor, Michael B. Jordan, Supporting Actor, Deloy Lindo, Supporting Actress, Wunmi Masako, Original Screenplay, Score, Casting, Sound, Production Design, Cinematography, Editing, Costume, Visual Effects, Hair and Makeup, and Song. And
when Michael B. Jordan wins, will they give him 2 statues?
That's a good question. That's a fair question. The film, if you haven't seen it, you're an idiot, but the film is...
You gotta see this
Thank
movie.
you very much.
HBO.
I'm out the door. Bye, everyone.
It's on HBO now.
I don't even know how I saw this film. I don't even remember seeing the trailer for it. I don't know if I saw it on my social media of people I like saying, "Hey, you got to see this film. This film is it." But let's get to the point. It's essentially about two twin brothers. They went coming back to their. Let me pull it up because I want to get locations right. Uh,
The
yeah,
Delta in Mississippi.
yeah, the Mississippi. I wasn't sure. I might have said the wrong state, but they left their town in Mississippi to go to World War One, and then they came back and worked in the Chicago underworld where they make money, and they took their ill-gotten game and they essentially want to start what at that time would be called a juke joint for the local black community, and make a profit. And they hire singers. They're doing the logistics. And we know that it's going to go wrong because the way it's set up, we do a back 24 hours earlier. So we know that this is going to go, unfortunately, sour in some way. And it turns out that, unfortunately, they're attacked by vampires. I don't know if that made it into the trailer or not, but...
It does.
Oh, it does? Okay.
I don't know if they specifically call out that, but it's a supernatural creature at the very least of some sort.
But this movie is more about my best friend. One of my best friends thinks it's more about just vampires. It's also about the power of music, tradition of arts, and how arts are passed away from one way to the other.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it sets up how metaphorically race relations in this country were at that time and even now. So it's just the genius of the movie. I mean, I heard that Ryan Coogler got to write his own deal for this movie. It is both a box office success and a critical success. Guys, what do you want to say? As I said, we could probably do a whole show on this.
Yeah. Where do you start?
I know.
I mean, I guess one thing that I mean, it's been repeated so many times over, but that moment of just looking the sequence of looking through the generations.
Yes.
It's just
oh my God.
Artfully done. Artfully done. Chills. Amazing.
Yes.
10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I'd be crazy not to. But I only have one minor complaint about the whole movie, and it's so minor, and this is just me. I wish in some form or fashion the Native American vampire hunters had returned in some way, because I thought that they were.
I was rooting for them to come back.
Yes, and I wish there was just something else with them, because it felt like just kind of something that was left hanging. But other than that, perfect, absolutely well done, phenomenal.
I was so taken by I mean, Michael B. Jordan was so amazing, and he played two twins that were truly, they had that similar undercurrent, but then their personalities were very different. The type of women they were into were very different. Their desires, their hopes, the way their brains thought were very different. And that is so difficult to do.
Oh, yeah.
And he is so amazing in it. And I really appreciated, I mean, there was a couple of times you're waiting for those gotcha moments. And I really want to do a shout out to that. Although you were on the edge of your seat and you thought there were going to be a lot of gotcha moments, there was no modern horror tropes that you get. Instead, it was, the reality. I mean, the vampires were almost an afterthought in some ways, even though there's, very involved in the big battle and everything else. It's everything that goes up to that moment. The vampire part of the movie is actually relatively small. Because it's really the realities. And, spending the first, well, it's no longer the first half, the first quarter of my life in the Deep South. It just, even in the 70s and the 80s, well, even today, there are some issues. And it just seeing the 1930s, 40s feel of what Mississippi felt like, just simply wanting to get together and have, a place to call their own, and everything they had to go through. And then I will tell you, I mean, even my husband was rooting at the very end. He said something along the lines of, I don't want to sound negative, but I really hope he shoots that one. And that's the last one that Michael is having the conversation with, with the white supremacists. And then I love the fact that they start they start scrolling the actors and everything else, and they've got all that going on, and then you get the epilogue.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to call it an Easter egg. I'm not going to call it a tag. It is an epilogue.
Okay.
And that one was, mind blowing. I loved it.
Yes.
I absolutely loved the choices they made.
Very cool. Very cool.
No, such a good movie. Such a good movie.
And this is one that I really think needs to break the mold about horror films, because I don't view it's so much more than one genre. Let's be honest. It is multiple genres mixed into one. This one should break the mold, and of all the films that have come out, that one it just rises to the top, because you've got superior acting, superior directing, superior writing, and something that is so, you know, I don't like most modern horror films anymore. I just I don't like the gore fest. But that, every ounce of it, I would change this much. And normally I can't say that about a film. And now I feel like I have to watch it again because I think I may have missed some things.
Yes.
And that's not that usual for me with most films these days.
And it's such a good it was such a good theater experience too. I was lucky enough to have seen this in theaters, and I think it's really a testament to the movie that I had been wanting to see this for a while, but for several reasons I hadn't been able to watch it for several weeks until after it came out. So it had already been out for, I would say, 3-4 weeks, and it was still packed. And everyone knows nowadays when you go to the movies, everyone's on their phone, everyone's talking.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm old school. I'm like, no, I don't even want to think about my phone. So, but not a word this whole movie, not anyone on their phone, and that's just a testament of some great filmmaking.
And I have to add, because they're up for these other nominations, their capture of the time period with the clothing, with the language, with the attitudes, every aspect of it, boy, did they get that. They got that so good. And, having seen so many of these actors in other things, you really felt, down to the sweat on their brows. Because, this is Mississippi. We didn't have air conditioning. They're dancing, they're playing, it's hot. And, wow. I just, normally I don't have a film that sweeps that much, and this one I think should really sweep its nominations.
And you bring up a great point with like the sweat, because I know a lot of people were talking about they didn't like the cinematography because it felt kind of like a little maybe too saturated or anything, and I feel like almost like captured the weather almost.
Yes.
Where it's like this cinematography, you're not feeling the heat, but you almost kind of do because of how it's shot. So I think it was such a great choice of how it looks as well.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did like that look in the cinematography because it just felt it suited the environment that they were in. So I'm kind of surprised anybody would disagree with that. And so yeah, and I don't even know. I honestly wish I remember where I first, how I first came across this movie, because I don't remember seeing a trailer for it, and supposedly I didn't watch it until May, and it came out in April. So I don't, as I said, I don't know if it was my social media. I don't know anybody who doesn't like this film. This has a good shot of really doing well. As I said, let me pull up the record because I just want to see if they mention it in the wiki article that this broke. Yeah, Sinners are the most in Oscar history, surpassing the previous record of 14 nominations by All About Eve in 1950, Titanic, and La La Land. 14 was the number to break, and this one broke it for the first time. And it also broke the record for most black individuals nominated for a single film at 10.
Wow.
So
No, that only took us 100 years.
Yeah.
Does the Sinners have a shot at most of these 16? Do you think?
I
Not
think
asking
it
to
does.
predict,
Yeah.
just a question. Okay, because I had this great idea. Juan, you said that we could devote, we could devote a whole show to Sinners, right? Okay.
Well, I think you could devote a whole show to any film.
All
I
right,
will say that.
let's do Sinners. Let's do Sinners. Sinners has 16 nominations, right?
Right.
Here's my vow. If they get at least half of them, we will do a complete show on Sinners. How about that? Then, Kim, you're invited. Does that sound good?
Yes, that sounds like a plan. And if I'm not a gambling person, but if I was, I would put money down that will happen because
Okay.
Yeah.
I typically when it's such a large nomination sweep like this, you're
Right.
winning most of those nominations.
Yeah.
And also, I got to say this: I'm pulling up the box office. 280 million domestic.
Well,
Wow.
okay. I'm just saying because, I know that Juan doesn't like predicting winners, but you're kind of saying
predicting.
that it could
I'm
make
doing
at least
it.
half of them, maybe all of them, is what you guys are saying.
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say.
I know, it's tough.
12. I'm saying 12.
You're saying
That's my
12.
number.
All right. Well, we only have to hit 8 to do an
Yes.
episode. Only have to hit 8.
So moving
I
on,
think it will be more likely to be one of those that does, as opposed to, there are some films who get nominated for everything and then get like 2.
And
Well,
and that does happen a lot.
Well, that happened to last year, and the thing is, it was a film I know Kim didn't like, and that
Oh
was
yeah,
Amelia
because
Perez.
Amelia, I was happy with anything winning as long as it wasn't Amelia Perez.
I know, I was the same way.
That one doesn't count. That's not a movie, so that doesn't
Yes.
count when I say that. When they usually get more nominations, they win. That when I say that, I mean movies.
So anyway, guys, we're wrapping up on time here. So, are any big? Did you feel there were any big snubs this year?
Yes.
Kim?
Ooh, who do you think
No
snubbed?
other
got snubbed?
choice. No other choice should have been nominated. And here's what I think is happening. I think that the Oscars said we nominated Parasite for that one year. It won. We checked that box. We're moving on. So no other choice is not included anywhere here, but that was a phenomenal movie. I love it. I think it's better than Frankenstein from the half I've seen of Frankenstein. I think it's the director at his best. He's such a great director, and I think it would be nice to one day see an Oscars that's more embracing of international film than just English language movies.
Vicky?
Okay.
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, one would be it's interesting that Guillermo wasn't up, even though Frankenstein was. But I always find that intriguing when a movie is up for Best Picture, but the director is not up. Now, I know we've expanded Best Picture to more than just 5 nominees, but it just always feels weird. And then I'm going to say something controversial. I'm not sure Wicked was snubbed.
I was
I
gonna
agree.
I was actually gonna bring that up because it is the second part, and the first part did get nominated. So was this even? Is it right that the second half did not? I mean, how would you go on that? We only got a couple of seconds left. What do you guys think?
It was good, but not spectacular.
Okay,
I'll say that.
and that's a good reason not to get it.
Although, can I ask Kim a quick question? Because I think did you think Oscar Isaac deserved the nomination? I thought Victor Frankenstein should be over the top, like the way he was playing it in that theater.
I don't know. I think it could have been one way or the other. I wasn't completely sold on his performance.
All right, fair enough.
All right. Well, that was MarkWHO42 meets MarkWHO42 goes to the Oscars in 2026. The Oscars will be on March 15th. Go and see them. I want to say thank you in behalf of myself, Mark Baumgarten, Juan Sanmiguel, Victoria Jakubowski, Vicky, and Kim Farah as our special guest. Thank you so much. Any last words? We only have a couple seconds.
Watch more movies.
Yeah, go see
Always.
these films.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to because I've seen hardly any of them. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week. Oh, in 2 weeks. Okay, bye. You've been listening to MarkWHO42. Your hosts, Mark Baumgarten, Vicky Jakubowski, Juan Sanmiguel, and Zion Quiros. If you'd like to leave a comment for us, please email us at markwho42.42@gmail.com. MarkWHO42's universe is produced and directed by Mark Baumgarten. Copyright 2026.